The Premature Burial, Summary, by Edgar Allan Poe. The Premature Burial is one of Edgar Allan Poe's most famous psychological horror stories, centered on the terrifying fear of being buried alive. The narrator, who also serves as the protagonist, suffers from catalepsy, a rare medical condition that causes temporary states of paralysis and unconsciousness resembling death. Because of this, he develops an uncontrollable obsession with the idea that one day he might be mistaken for dead and buried while still alive. Throughout the story, Poe explores the intense psychological torment caused by this fear. The narrator describes several real cases of premature burials that he has read or heard about, using them to justify his own terror. Each example adds to the atmosphere of horror and increases his anxiety. These stories are typical of Poe's style, blending fact and imagination to make the reader question the boundary between life and death. Unable to live peacefully, the narrator decides to take extreme precautions. He designs and builds a special tomb equipped with various safety mechanisms, such as an air supply, a signaling bell, and a way to open the coffin from the inside, all intended to ensure that, if he were ever buried alive, he could escape or call for help. His daily life becomes dominated by this phobia. He avoids social contact, isolates himself from the world, and lives constantly in fear that sleep or unconsciousness might lead to his accidental burial. One night, the narrator experiences what he believes to be the realization of his worst nightmare. He awakens in total darkness, unable to move, surrounded by a narrow space. Convinced that he has been buried alive, he screams desperately, feeling the full horror of his obsession. However, moments later, he discovers that he is not inside a coffin but in the small cabin of a ship where he had fallen asleep. The terror and shock of this moment serve as a turning point in his life. This unexpected revelation leads the narrator to an important transformation. He realizes that his overwhelming fear has controlled and nearly destroyed his existence. The incident teaches him that living in constant terror is worse than the thing he fears itself. From that day forward, he decides to abandon his obsession, confront his anxieties, and live a normal, peaceful life without the shadow of irrational dread. In this story, Poe uses vivid descriptions, suspense, and psychological insight to explore the destructive power of fear and obsession. The tale reflects his fascination with death, consciousness, and the fragility of the human mind. Ultimately, The Premature Burial is not only a horror story but also a psychological study of how fear can dominate a person's life and how the mind can find redemption through self-awareness.
Mataré. De eso se encargarán la tierra y la oscuridad y el aterrorizado palpitar de tu propio corazón. Mentirosa y traicionera amada. Eso